Here.
Tom Connor.
Here.
Michelle Beatty. Kurt Lynn.
Here.
Aaron Burr.
Here.
Andy Coffey is here. I'm here. Tricia Voss here. Jeff Beckmeyer. Jerry Harris.
Ed Alexander is here for Jerry.
Okay. Marie Collins. Jeff Hanson.
Here.
Joe Strange.
Here.
Alan Scott.
Here.
Kathy Humby here.
Alrighty, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. General manager report.
All right, end of season party is this Friday from 6 to 10, it'll be at the clubhouse. We have a band and there's food trucks and Kona Ice, we deal with backup plan, there's inclement weather, we'll still have the event. The last day to apply for the board of directors is Friday, this Friday, August 30th at 5:00 p.m. All required documents must be submitted by the deadline, for the application to be complete. We've been talking with the city of O'Fallon about vacating an easement that they have on Lakewood Park at the entrance that we would like to use as a future restaurant site, so they've agreed to do so. They're gonna be voting on that in September, so officially, we believe we'll have a vacation agreement by the end of the month. And that's it for this time.
Alrighty, thank you, Heather. Old business, doesn't appear we have anything on old business this month. New business, legal fees.
Motion to approve legal fees in the amount of $3,016.38.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We will move committee reports. Finance committee, Jeff is not here, is anybody representing finance tonight? Alrighty, ENF.
So, regarding the water sampling event, I've been given a summary of what occurred that day, as I was not there. And unfortunately, Jerry, who was there, couldn't be here, and Dave Kuznick, who was there. Anyway, he wrote this for me, so if you'll indulge me, I'll read this. And
Could you come up to the mic?
Sure.
Sure that for posterity purposes that we're recording.
All right, let's make it official.
So thank you, sir, appreciate it.
All right. Lakes of Missouri Volunteer Program, LMVP, Manager Tony Thorpe graciously brought his team to the LSLCA to sponsor Peru Creek Watershed Sampling Day on August 14th. The Lakes of Missouri Volunteer Program is based at Mizzou and largely funded by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. We had over 22 participants sample 30 locations in the Peru Creek watershed. I would add that that goes from Warrenton to the Mississippi River, just so everyone knows how long it is. We now have water quality samples that span the length of the entire watershed, which serve as a current baseline for the future and can be used for planning PCW Alliance improvement projects. Tony and his team arrived at 9:30 and were wrapped up by 3:30. Participants included over 5 people from the LMVP, Scott Ellis and Ed Young, 3 folks from Wentzville Stormwater Management Team, Laura and Tabitha of DNR Stream Team Leadership, some of the CA staff, Rhonda Ferret, and a whole lot of CA residents. Turnout was awesome. We're grateful for everyone's giving of their time. Tony Thorpe said that his summary report will be released in 3 months or so. It will include water quality sample results, sample lat long, I'm not sure what that is, locations, site photos, and more. These results will be useful as the PCW Alliance plans future stream improvement projects. Tony will release the report to all participants, which will be available, and he will be available to discuss. Related developments, the DNR continues to prepare a 9-point element watershed plan that will be reviewed with the watershed community for comment and submitted to the EPA on our behalf. The review is tentatively anticipated in early September. Their self-funded initiative and effort is quite the coup for PCW stakeholders. time, treasure, and talents of persons interested in helping manage future watershed quality should contact Jerry Harris, Dan Overly, or Dave Kuzma. Reach out to Heather for contact information. Lastly, Missouri DNR Stream Team is hosting free Level 1 water quality management volunteer training October 18th, 19th at Larimore and Babbitt Parks, respectively. The PCW needs stream team volunteers to sample Brook Creek to monitor water quality. We encourage any interested parties in signing up online to receive the training and help the community. The Brook Creek Watershed Stream Team has already been identified. Please indicate your participation on the team when registering for the training. That's the report.
Thank you very much.
If I might, I did update you guys, after, I guess, a couple weeks ago when I went out with Ed and, Scott Ellison and Ed Young. But they took me out to their sampling, on their sampling expedition that they do every 3 weeks for 6 months of the year for, well, it's been going on since, I believe, '97. And, I mean, talk about some dedication. I was only there for 4 hours, and we just did the small lake. They had already knocked out the big lake in the morning before I got there. But if you guys run into them, what they're doing is top notch. It's scientific. It's really, really good work, and they're dedicated to what they're doing. So just give them a pat on the back because they've been. I mean, they're the type of guys that are. Nobody knows that this has been going on. Nobody knows that they're doing this. They've been working with Tony over at the University of Missouri, and they were instrumental, I think, in putting a lot of the 14th together. But just for people who don't know, they are doing some really great work and have been doing it for a long time. So pat them on the back, and yeah, it's really good.
That's
And
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks, and thanks, yeah, I mean, Jerry, Dave, Pat Alexander, Dan Overly, Scott Ellison, Ed Young are all, those are just some of the guys, but they are really doing a lot of work helping us establish baseline conditions before our friends upstream get up and running. So, it's huge. They're also, the work that they're doing to update our 9-point plan was gonna cost us probably $500,000 to get done. We're getting it done for free because of our new relationship with the DNR, and then them helping us apply for grants. We were gonna have to do that on our own as well. So this is all just really huge developments in the right direction for our community. So thanks to everybody that's grabbing the rope and pulling. It's much appreciated, and you don't maybe even get enough credit that you should, but thanks.
Another comment, the ENF meeting for next month has been delayed 1 week because of the holiday. So it'll be on the 9th at 7 o'clock in the normal meeting room versus the 2nd. Anyone that wants to attend, obviously, is more than welcome to attend.
Very good.
And could we blast that out? too?
Yeah, we blast the agendas out the Friday before the meeting, so we're gonna do a
Okay.
blast for it.
Alrighty, the ACC was back here, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. Thanks. Lakes and Parks, Doug.
Okay, through our discussion, I will provide some information on the board's modification of the rules for the CA's waterfront owners, which now enables them to rent a CA boat slip at a location of their choice, small lake or large lake. So our motion is to recommend that the CA Board of Directors approve removal of item 7A 4B from the Lakes and Parks rules, since it is now redundant with the latest action improvement board.
What about, so
Yeah.
wait, let's go over this again.
Yeah, because what I read here wasn't what you just said.
Well,
And so,
I was trying, so I was talking to Doug before the meeting, what was the
we don't
minute?
think A was discussed.
okay. So I think what you said made more sense. I just, since it's different than what's written here, I just wanted to double check. So could you say it one more time slowly for us?
We recommend that the board of directors approve removal of item 7A 4B from the Lakes and Parks rules, since it is now redundant with the latest action by the board.
So that's what I was saying, that they haven't made an action on that yet. That's why I tried to,
But we have also ruled to remove A item A.
Yes, that was my mistake.
Because that, it was written in there that people are grandfathered in, and removing that would take that right away from them.
Basically, they want the board to remove the rule that lakefront homeowners can't rent the CA slip. Where I got confused in the Lakes and Parks minutes, it says that it's a redundant action, but you all haven't taken an action on that yet. This is the first referral
Right.
to remove that rule. So I think I was trying to clean it up and inadvertently included it, so it was not part of their recommendation.
So is your recommendation then to, allow lakefront homeowners to rent CA docks? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's,
From either lake, so long as they apply and follow the same rules as everyone else on the waiting list.
And still limited to one slip,
Yes.
per the other thing that we're not deleting.
So section A, the one slip will still hold? Okay. Well, as this is new business and we kind of made a stance on new business, I move to table this till next meeting.
Do I hear a second? Second. Discussion?
I think, well, I mean, my feeling is gonna make the list longer, because, you know, our goal when we did this was to try to make the list shorter, because we got thousands of people waiting for a dock, and now we're putting people that already have waterfront property, that already have their own boats, their own docks, everything in their backyard, and now we're gonna add them to the list, which
I think it was wrong to ever exclude them from the list.
I agree.
That's the key issue, we're adding them to the list, so it doesn't
I
matter.
don't like different rules for different people, but I think that this is, a classic case that we have to talk about this in depth. So that's why I would recommend we table it and discuss it during the workshop and.
I got email feedback from residents objecting to this change. And I don't know where I sit on it at the moment, but I do think thinking about it and then circling back to have discussion and a vote next month would be appropriate.
Can we get legal opinion also?
I don't remember that.
I thought I heard that we got legal opinion that you don't want two classes of residents.
I mean, I don't think.
Well, that doesn't mean we could vote on it next month.
I'm not saying we have to vote now,
Okay.
but I was
So let's
adding to the
have
discussion.
the discuss, okay.
Can we add the Lakes and Parks, the two reasons that I remember from the meeting, one, there was a consensus of people believing that just because you're a lakefront owner meant you shouldn't have less privileges than anybody else within the community. And the second reason being that I remember people discussing was, what if I live in a house that has a pretty steep drive or way down to my boat, and at some point I get to the point where I can't get to my boat, and I possibly wanna put my boat on a place where I can drive to it easily and load, rather than trying to make it down like a hill. And so those were the two things that I remember people discussing.
And in addition to that, there was people who were considering downsizing, which means if they sold their house, they're off the lake, and they'll have a 5-year plan to maybe ever get a boat back on the lake. There was rough water on weekends considerations, there was discussions about a sailboat when we dropped the lake. We would love to be able to take it to a different slip. There was, probably a variety of reasons other than just us proposing this.
So, is there any further discussion from the board? So, seeing no further discussion, the motion is tabled. All in favor? Any opposed? So we will circle back around and finalize a decision on this for next week. And if people have feedback they'd like to give the board, they're welcome to do that. Next month, yeah, did I say next week?
Yeah.
Next month is what I.
You confused me. I was like, I didn't know I was coming next week.
We confused myself, so, okay, there was another motion.
Yeah, the other one was that we would request the CA board approve up to $3,000 for the anglers to install fish habitat. That was unused money last year, and it was stated that if budget allows, that would probably be a good idea.
Would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that the CA Board of Directors approve up to $3,000 to install fish habitat this year for the angler.
Second.
Motion and second, anybody like to discuss?
Is this like a reimbursement type of a situation, or how does this work? We just write a check? and-
I don't believe so. I think it was, allocated $6,000. They didn't spend all of it because last year it was for fish supply and they were unable to finish that because the fish weren't available, so they would like to spend it for habitat.
And normally, with an allocation like that, it's use it or lose it, it's not available, but based on the fact that rather than have them spend it in a way that didn't make sense last year, I think it makes more sense to go ahead and let them reapply, and if it's feasible for us to bump that up, as opposed to spending it.
But I think Aaron's question was, do they pay 3,000 and we reimburse them, or do we direct pay to what they're trying to use? Is
No,
that your question?
we will submit receipts, we get reimbursed.
Okay, so, okay,
Right.
so we know what it gets spent on.
Exactly. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Was that your question?
That's basically the procedure.
Or when we do fish stocking, that stocking will get a receipt from the hatcheries, and then the CA usually pays directly to the hatcheries. So you know exactly what is going, it's just not a check going straight to the anglers, for any means. You know exactly what it's going to.
Perfect. Any further discussion? Everybody all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Heinsohn?
That's it.
All righty. Moving on from lakes and parks to golf.
No real motions or anything tonight. The leagues are getting ready to wrap up, next month and a half or so at the latest. October 7th is a Monday, Rob is going to be aerating all the greens. So the course, of course, will be closed until, well, last year, I think he reopened it about 2 o'clock or so. Other than that, we've got 2 more tournaments coming up, the ball tournament, which is already filled up, and then the fall classic end of October, which will be starting to take reservations for probably, I'm guessing, the first part of October. The junior golf went extremely well this year. Everybody enjoyed it, so thanks to Joe and Bills for that. Did a great job.
Anything else? All right, thank you, sir, appreciate it. Aquatics,
Did not meet, no report.
awesome, thank you. Alrighty, moving on to general.
You skipped
Did
one.
I skip Alex? Oh, no, I put a check mark next to your name already, Alex, sorry. Go ahead and now you speak.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
no problem. As far as motions go, I just want to thank everybody on the board for the speedy approval for our, can you hear me okay, or I need to?
Yeah. If you make a motion.
You should have had Doug.
Yeah, they should have.
Okay,
It's not gonna.
Thank you for the speedy approval for the date change for the pickleball glow event on October 5th. Appreciate all that. We were able to reserve all the lights that we're gonna need for that glow pickleball event. So, and thanks Heather for supporting us on getting the electrical put in for those black lights that we're gonna have for that. We got the events coming up here in September. For tennis, we got Friday night under the lights, September 6th. It'll be out here on the CA courts, and then we've got another tennis doubles tournament coming up at the end of September on the 21st. That's men's and women's doubles from 8 to noon on September 21st. The pickleball clinics that we had this year, they're all done. We had 11 clinics from April through August. There were five-day clinics, 43 people were involved in those sessions this summer. So taking into account instructor fees, we raised a little bit over $1,000 for the CA, which I think we've already spent on all of our stuff. We're trying, Heather. We got excellent feedback. 100% of the attendees recommended the clinics for friends, and they saw that their opinions improved. And Jim, you and your wife attended those, so learned a little bit about pickleball this summer. So thank you for your support. We got 2 new clubs that we're looking. I don't have any motions or anything, but starting up 2 new pickleball clubs. We've got one gentleman that's volunteered to start
issues right now is about 2 weeks out from catching up. So I say it'd be after that, it'd probably be mid-September or so.
Yeah, we have September sixth and September 21.
So we'll definitely make sure we don't disrupt the tennis function.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Sorry we skipped you.
We-
Well, all right, sorry, guys. Good Lord. All right, general comments, residents, I know we have a couple of people that are in line to speak.
You can bring another chair up if you want. We'll-
Hi, I'm Emily Presser, incoming president of Lake St. Louis Mothers Club.
I'm Ashley Curry, outgoing president of
So we have two things to run by you. One is we'd like to change our bylaws to add that general membership can provide at least 8 hours of volunteer time to the club in lieu of membership fees. We're hoping this will help get more people from the CA to kind of sign up and get involved in things. And the second is to the same effort. We'd like to place a laser cut plaque with the club name, just like a QR code that directs to the website, at the CA playground on the opposite side of the CA members only plaque that exists, so we're not taking up more space. We'd also like to place one at any other playgrounds that are in CA boundaries.
I think we discussed a little bit about this in executive session, and if you could, just make a formal email request and send it to Heather.
Okay, yeah,
And then
sure.
she'll forward it to us, and then we will bounce that around, and then we'll work through that on what needs our input and what doesn't, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
Does
sounds good.
anybody else have anything to add to that?
Yeah, if you, as far as that QR code, which I think is a great idea, we all really like that idea a lot. If you have a sample or something.
I do, it printed comically huge, but I do have one.
Right, so as far as like, what, would that be exactly what you would be installing, or?
We thought we'd go measure the existing plaque so that it didn't overtake it.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you would actually want.
Oh, get it, like,
to add in.
Gotcha.
If we have an idea of what.
Well, somebody that's gonna do that for you, maybe, something.
Yeah, no,
Steps.
it's, yeah.
That way we can make sure that we sort of, suss it out before we.
Yeah, totally.
And in discussing, we had an extra answer for your question about the ratio of our membership, and we thought to tell you that the babysitters that are CA members aren't included in that spreadsheet, so that if that helps, you know, that that's in the
Okay.
background, and that there
Okay.
are moms that will answer no to the resident question, but they'll be an heir to property owners, like grandchildren or
Okay.
aunt. And we have a lot of active members that have a family member that is a CA member, that helps.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, and we'll continue the dialogue and work out through that, yeah, we want some other stuff to be successful. Awesome, thank you. Thank you. Dan? Good, how are you?
So my name is Gabriel. I live on 11 Stone Mountain Court, so we live on the Ravens Point. Pretty much most people know where it's located by the gazebo, and all the boat docks are right there. Myself and a few of our neighbors received a notice of intent that there is intentions to move a lot of the flower beds that are along the Ravens Point that were installed somewhere around 30 years ago, and I'm here to offer maybe some potential had was, when it would be removed, the plan is to grass and seed the area. Because the density of the trees, we've already seen that grass has difficulty in growing in the area. So there's fears of additional erosion is already being seen on the point, and the beds are helping to actually sustain some of that nature from eroding into any further cases. I know myself and a few of the other homeowners have expressed that if the beds were to remain where they were, we're more than happy to file for the appropriate paperwork for the creative rights to add additional funding to the CA. And that way you guys would have an ability to hold us accountable. I believe the project right now is scoped as a beautification project for Point, which is awesome. We've been asking for that for a long time. But we would argue that it's probably more cost efficient and easier to do the beautification with the remaining grounds. And if we were to file for those creative rights, allow us to help with the beautification of the existing stone structures and foliage, add to the beauty as opposed to just tearing it down and grassing it over. My apologies, I know it was a lot.
So, what you say, file for creative rights, what is it?
We talked about that a little bit. I guess there's an ability that if there's a resident can file for creative rights, or if they're like done just outside of their area to help with.
What is a license agreement?
Yes.
So the license agreement basically says that the CA maintains ownership of the land, but it allows a homeowner to have like landscaping structure like Ian's talking about.
Yeah, I think the entire eastern side of the street backs up to CA grounds. I believe all the residents on that street got that notification, most of which is woods. I offered to come for a lot of the residents to speak on as many behalfs I could, because ours is probably some of the larger and more labor-intensive beds to be removed. The ones that I say ours, but the beds that are on the CA property are behind our joint properties.
Remind me, is this the property where trees were cut down by a resident without CA permission, or is that another? And where we're getting complaints of homeowners not allowing the people to walk back behind? I mean,
Yeah, I think
there's so many
I
different.
think there was some complaints about homeowners with, both encroaching on the property as well as complaints about them not encroaching on the property, but being close. What are your recollection there, Heather?
And were there trees cut down also without CA?
No.
That's something else.
That's a different one.
I believe we've reached out for all the trees that are removed.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep, fine, I'm just trying to catch up here.
So, what exactly are you asking for?
We would be asking if the beds themselves, the beautification project continue without the beds being removed. And then if need be from a conditional standpoint, we'd be willing to file for the license agreement to help protect the beds and maintain them to CA standards.
Okay, I don't think we're prepared to give you an answer tonight as far as that goes. We're gonna need to discuss this a little bit more, as far as that goes, so we'll get back to you. I know we do plan and have budgeted for a beautification project there, and it's certainly our intention, with it being CA property, for us to handle that.
Yeah.
I think, does that cover everything from your standpoint? I think we need to have further discussion, and we won't be taking any action tonight.
Would there be a follow-up tour next meeting?
Yeah, I mean, we had expected you were gonna be at the executive session, so.
Oh, my apologies.
Which is fine. I mean, I think we'll have an opportunity to discuss this, and we'll get back to you.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
I'll reach out. Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else not on the list that would like to speak? All right, seeing that there's nobody else on the list, we'll hand it off to the board members. We want to start this in this time. Jill?
Pressure, yeah.
Oh, I've got something. Just, like Heather mentioned, anybody wants to join the board or, at least be considered for it for voting? I'm looking right at you. No, okay. Please get your application in. We'd love to have somebody else enjoy this.
Thanks everyone for coming.